What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pedal Down 4x4, and on this video series we're going to be straight ox swapping my Tacoma. Alright, so this is my 1998 Toyota Tacoma. It's SR5 3.4 V6. It is twin charge, supercharger and a turbo, but the supercharger is coming out and we're just going to go with the turbo. That was kind of just like an experiment because I was going to sell the supercharger anyway. But you may know this truck from the internet or from my Instagram page is Pedal Down 4x4. This truck gets so much hate because of this lift. And this is a 6-inch FabTech drop bracket lift. So I do understand why everyone hates this lift, and to be quite honest, I bought the truck with that lift on it. Personally, I would have just left it as a 3-inch lift, but whatever, it is what it is. So as of right now, the specs on this truck, it has a 6-inch FabTech bracket lift. I then added on these Total Chaos upper control arms and these custom Icon 2.5 coilovers. It's a full-length coilover and it's valving, and you can also adjust it on this little knob right here, and that'll adjust it. However, there's one major problem with this truck, and it is that lift. The reason why that's a big problem for me is because I keep blowing out CV axles. Now, that CV axle isn't completely gone yet, but I have gone through 10 CV axles within the past year of owning this truck. Every time it goes off-road, when it was supercharged before, it didn't have this problem. When I turbocharged it, that's when the problem started happening. It would blow up the CV, the cup itself that sits in it, it would shatter the CV. So for about 1.5 years now, I think almost 2 years now, I've actually had a Trail Gear Kit C 3-link kit for this truck. It is from Universal 4x4 out in Oahu, and the kit itself comes with everything, pretty much everything you need besides a couple little bits and pieces, as well as your choice of coilover, shocks, whatever you want to do with that. The kit is going to be running, or the truck is going to be running a 529 ARB air locker in the front. And then in the back, I'm going to take out my e-locker and we're going to go with a Toyota 8.4 rear differential from the Tacoma, just because it is easier, as well as I want to put the 488s from this truck into my 4Runner. You would have seen the 4Runner in the last video series. It is supercharged V8, but it's a 529 gears, and I use that truck for work. I use that truck to play, and it's also my family car. So just having 529s is pretty unpractical now. These two cars are my toys. That's my 80 series, and this is the Tacoma. So this one is going to be the full off-roader, beat the shit out of the thing. I've already beaten it pretty well. It looks okay from far, but you can probably see right there, there's a pretty decent sized dent on the side of the door. That was when we went wheeling one day. The log got caught on the front of the tire, swung around and cranked the door. But that's the game we play. It is what it is. So on this episode, all we're gonna do is we're gonna just pull off everything. So rims, tires, the knuckles, the CVs, upper control arms, lower control arms, the full bracket lift, the front diff. I want to get everything off this truck and get it ready. This is going to be a pretty long video series for this car. So there's quite a bit of things that need to be done to get this thing out. I'm going to use, I have 20-ton pin jacks, and we're going to jack it up from here. We're going to put the jacks probably on this right here or right here, just to hold it, because all the lift stuff is going to be in the front. So we're going to get it on the lift, or not lift, but we're going to get it on those jack stands, and we're going to start tearing this guy apart, and hopefully we can get this done by Christmas. I'm not too sure. I still need to buy shocks, and for the shocks we're going to get ORI, I think it's nitrogen struts. Those have been used before. They're pretty popular in the mainland right now. I know a couple guys who have them in Hawaii. One of them is my uncle, and he has the same kit that I have, but he bought it like a while back. So he's running 14-inch. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run 14 or 12. I would have to measure, mainly because of the turbo is sitting right here, as well as some of the other catch cans and whatnot. So we may have to move some of that stuff. I would like to go 14s, but I would have to cut out this inner tub. So I'll show you guys right here. This inner tub would probably have to get cut out, and the shock tower is gonna go all the way through. I'm gonna order from Barnes four-wheel drive. I'm gonna be ordering I think it's the 12-inch shock tower. We're gonna get those through once we get everything off. All right, so I went to go ahead and jack this truck up, and I wanted to put the pin jacks on these frame rails because all the work is gonna really be getting done past these frame rails, but the bumper is kind of blocking the frame rail. I can put it here. I don't feel comfortable with it only being on this much. So we're gonna go ahead, I pulled the battery already. We're gonna disconnect this winch and then pull the winch off, and we're gonna pull the bumper off. So then we have full access. And then this bumper also needs some love. It's seen some trees and bushes and shit and whatever. So we'll pull this guy off. We can refurbish this later. And then I also have to figure out my AC stuff. Obviously there's a big intercooler right here, or not really too big, but just big enough to fit inside of there. And I want to remount that dryer somewhere else, so I'm gonna have to figure out, bend some AC lines or whatever. But let's pull this bumper off, pull the winch first, pull the bumper off, and let's get this guy and hopefully just not scratch the absolute crap out of this truck. I'm just gonna pull off the box here. It just has some Phillips screws holding this control box on. All right, I don't know if it's a control box or whatever it is, but it's for the winch. So this has like all the wires, control wires and whatnot going into it. It does have some rust in there just because I live in the middle of the ocean, so you're gonna get that. All right, so now that's off, you can kind of just put that guy to the side here. You have a couple different wires going to your winch. You're gonna have like a power, ground, that kind of stuff. And hopefully the audio is better for you guys. I did do some different things. And then before you do this, make sure you disconnect your battery. You don't want to be, these wires are pretty much always hot. This one wouldn't be even if I left the battery on, because I do have a winch disconnect inside of my truck. But I'm going to be rewiring a lot of that stuff because I just don't like it inside. The battery is kind of a pain to get to now. So we're going to put the full battery setup in the bed of the truck. So we're also going to be doing a lot of rewiring. So this is not really a rush project. I'm not sure how many episodes this is going to take. All right, so we got all the wires off of the winch. So that's going to sit just like that. I'm going to show you guys underneath. Underneath it takes a couple of, I believe it's 17 millimeter bolts. Underneath the truck right now, I lied. It's actually a 16 mil bolt. Take our impact here. We're just gonna zap these guys off. That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. All four bolts off now. What I should have done, that's so stupid. I should have actually pulled this winch cable out so I can take off this hook, but I think I have enough clearance if I pull off the aluminum fair lead here. Take this guy off. There we go. All right, so that's gonna come off just like that. Now this fair lead should come off. Hopefully this rope, synthetic rope, loosens enough. Ah, there we go. Nice. So now that's off. I really hope I don't have to. Can I fish this through here? I guess we'll find out. But we're gonna try and pull this winch back. enough so we can slide this fair lead through here. Yeah, this was a mess up on my part. This is a Smittybilt X20 comp. It's a great winch. It's pulled me out of a lot of different scenarios here. Let's get this guy. Cool. So we got the main winch off. The electric box can actually stay here. Now we can pull the bumper off, and that's going to give us all the room for the jacks. Here's our winch, Smittybilt X20 comp winch. So I'll get you guys on a time lapse and we'll pull this bumper off. Alright, so we got pretty much all the bolts off. We're going on to our last bolt right now. I have the jacks sitting there just to help me if the bumper does drop. So I forget exactly how heavy this bumper is. Okay, now hopefully grab this guy, take her straight off. And this is the Trail Gear Rock Defense bumper. It's a really good bumper. I'm gonna put this on the side. A couple bolts down here. Not sure what size. Take a look. Yeah. Looks like they're 19s. We definitely need to repaint this bumper. Take out all the rust because it's definitely seen better days. Okay, so now the bumper should be free. Or this is technically not a bumper, it's like there used to be a cross member here, and this replaces that cross member. I'm just gonna, oh, that's pretty on there. All right, we're gonna give it some persuasion. Okay. All right, so here's your cross member. Pull this guy, put this guy on the side, but this is what I mean. So now, let me get you guys off. Sorry, I'm breathing hard, fat. So now I can go ahead and put the jack right here. That's gonna give me all the room to pull the rest of this stuff off and to work with the front axle. These are my blinkers, by the way, if you don't know. Condensers holding on for dear life. I gotta figure that part out. Intercooler solid though, so that's good. It's the part that matters. So I'm gonna get this on jack stands, and then I'll go ahead and get you guys back up on there. All right, so we got the truck on the jack stands. These are, I'm sorry, I said 20 ton. They are 10 ton pin jacks. They're supporting the front of the frame because everything back here is gonna come off, and all the modifications are gonna be from this point back. There's really nothing gonna be going on in the front, but it's a real solid. You can't move that. You can't move it off. So I'm gonna pull the tires off. You can actually see the CV right there, and it's not destroyed yet, but it's gonna come out eventually. So I'm not sure if we can do all of this today. Since you guys last seen me, I am now a dad, so I do have dad responsibilities, so I have to do adulting things now, which is, it's good in a way, but projects are going to be a little slower. But I do have a lot of time because I don't drive this truck. So I drive the 4Runner and the 80. This truck only goes out to play, and every time it goes out to play, I break it. So we might not be able to do the diff and stuff, but we're gonna go ahead, pull the coilovers, pull the knuckles, pull all that stuff off. And then if we do have time, we'll pull the cross member, the diff, and then the steering rack. So, oh, and real quick, so I also marked the center line of each side, just so I kind of have an idea of where to put the front axle. The front axle does have adjustability, so in the joints so we can actually move the axle back and forth, and the pan hard will move it left and right. But yeah, I haven't seen this truck like this in a long time, so let's get this shit off of this truck and then let's get the good stuff on. All right, so you can kind of see what we're working with here. Today's plan, we're gonna pull tie rods, pull off this hub. These worn hubs suck, by the way, don't buy them. Take out the CV, the manual hubs, just use a CV, like a little clip, and then you can slide that guy out. Pull the brake, pull the caliper. I think I'm gonna just tuck the caliper. I gotta go read the kit's instructions. I'm not sure if we're using this caliper or a caliper they provided. Pull the spindle. This is the FabTech 6-inch spindle. Upper control arm, icon coilovers, and then the lower control arms, hopefully. And then on next episode, if I don't get to it today, we're gonna pull the steering rack. We're gonna pull the front and rear drop bracket, pull the drive shaft off, pull the front diff, and all the little extra four-wheel drive parts off. And then once that's done, then I can start cutting. Unfortunately, I do not have a plasma cutter, so the cutting is gonna take a long time and a lot of cutting disc, and it's gonna be a very painful process to do. But by the end of this, we should have a solid axle under this girl, and I can actually beat the shit out of this thing without it blowing up. And if it does blow up, it's easier to replace because solid axle parts are easier to fix. Oh, and then also, I'm probably just gonna show you guys one side. I won't film the passenger side just because it's the same thing, right? Driver, passenger, the same thing. They have upper control arms and everything. There's no sense in seeing it twice. So I'm gonna pull this tire off. You guys aren't gonna see that. Then we're gonna go move on to the driver's side. I can film that for you guys, and then I'll move back to the passenger and I'll tear everything else off. And I think that might be a wrap for the day. I still haven't eaten lunch and it's 1 o'clock. So I wanna eat lunch. Let's get this done, and then I'm gonna go do dad stuff. Okay, so I pulled off some of the stuff already, just to make it a little bit easier. This is the snap ring. No, it doesn't come off that easy. I pre-did it, so it's faster for the video. You're gonna have a little washer in here. It is splined, and then that's it. Then your CV can actually just push out. We're gonna take apart some of this stuff. Pull the brake caliper off. Where's that bolt? Can't see. Second bolt. All right. Brake line release, so that's good. Now we're just gonna pop this guy off. There's our brake cap. Whoa, what the hell is that? It's like a fucking dragonfly that was stuck in there. You don't want to leave this hanging, but I'm not gonna use it anyway, but we'll just tuck it right here for now. We can pull our rotor off. Yep, rotor comes off. There is your wheel hub. There you go. Just another tie rod bolt, and we're gonna give it a couple of hits. It should release. There we go. Golly, it took a lot. All right, so tie rod's off. Now this guy can freely swing. We're gonna go ahead and take off our upper control arm bolt. which is right there, foot-pounds. So we're just gonna pull this. There we go. All right, so somebody else will be taking this setup. I also have to pull the slug out of this arm right here. So let me show you. This is the arm. This is a little slug that sits inside of the upper control arm. Whether you have a big ass spindle like this or a regular spindle, same way, and it sits like that. So I'm gonna pull this guy off camera later on. Now, oh, that CV just popped up because it's shitty. Okay, so GoPro overheated again. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I took that time to go ahead and just take out the other side. So now we're gonna move back to this side here. Pause. Okay, so we have the reservoir free. We got this 19 mil bolt over here. We're gonna pull this guy mostly out. Okay, that guy's mostly out. And I pulled the other bolts. There's just one more 14 up here. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on, but the GoPro keeps like freezing. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll try to do this before it does it again. Upper control arm, give this one long bolt. It goes pretty far, so we're gonna peel that back. And we're just gonna slide that bolt as far as we can, just so we can try and get this upper control arm off. All right, so we got the upper control arm off. The GoPro keeps tweaking out. I'm not sure what's going on, so. All right, so you guys may be wondering, why does it look a little different? I'm filming on my phone because for some reason the GoPro keeps freezing. So I have to end this video somehow. So we're gonna go do it with my phone. Got the coilovers out, upper control arms are out, knuckles are out, both sides, as well as the calipers on both sides and the rotors. Passenger side is pretty much done, as well as the driver's side. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. I do have a lot of other things that I have to do, but because of this GoPro issue, I'm just not going to risk it because I'm going to tear this whole thing apart and it's not going to record something. So I have to figure out that issue first. I think it might be an SD card problem. I checked the footage, it did record some of the stuff, but yeah. I'll see you guys next week. We're going to be pulling off that cross member as well as the front diff and drive shaft. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.